Hi everybody, and happy Nurses Week. First of all, I just want to say how thankful I am to have worked alongside so many of you guys. I know that the shifts have been absolutely crazy. Sometimes we see and experience things that you really have to be there to believe. But all in all, I will absolutely say without a doubt, being a nurse is one of the most rewarding, life-changing jobs, occupations, careers that one can ever go to. I don't really think that I personally had a grasp on a true value of life until I became a nurse. It's all the small things that you will overlook and take for granted until you're put in situations where your patients are passing, where things are happening so fast, where time is your worst enemy. And then the light bulb comes on and you realize life should never be taken for granted. So thank you to all the nurses that have put themselves through these years of nursing school. This is not easy. It will never be easy, but I commend you. I tip my hat off to you, and let's get started. 2 questions. The first question, Jennifer, why did you become a nurse? And what do you feel the hardest thing about being a nurse is? Very good questions. First of all, I became a nurse because I wanted to be able to provide for my family. I realized that with the passing of my mother when I was a young girl, that it was just me as the little lady in the family. And I always thought in the back of my head, even as a young girl, how would this work? How would I be able to take care of, if I don't know, how would I be able to take care of my family? So I put myself through nursing school, and I was not sure which way I wanted to go. And nursing school provides you with the opportunity of floating through many different floors and many different paths, avenues in the medical field that they have to offer. So I went through med-surg, I went through assisted living, I went through long-term care, I went through family practice, I went through subacute, I went through a variety of fields, labor and delivery, and somehow something kept bringing my heart back to our geriatric population. There was something about the older population and the neurological disorders that kept intriguing me. I felt a true draw to our older population. So I began focus studying, and I studied geriatrics, gerontology, and I did dementia, Alzheimer's, Lewy body, diabetes, cancer, emphysema, COPD, and anything that fell more under our chronic disease processes, which were mostly geriatric patients. However, I did have patients that were younger, because remember, diabetes is not age-based. Cancer is not age-based. COPD and emphysema, it's not age-based. So it's really more about sometimes the person's lifestyle. Remember, diabetes, for example, there's type 1 and type 2. So type 1, you are insulin dependent, which means that that's hereditary. That is something, unfortunately, that happened to your body. Your body is not producing enough glucose, glycogen, and insulin into the body to keep things regulated. Therefore, you would need somebody or yourself to give you insulin shots. Type 2 diabetes, however, is the sedentary lifestyle, which is in fact the self-induced. That's just the poor lifestyle. That's the bad eating habits. That's more of the stagnant life, no working out. So remember, in type 2 diabetes, you can absolutely reverse that disease process with the will to want to change. The hardest thing about being a nurse is probably, there's a lot of things that have been challenging, but I think the reality of the situations are very, very hard. When I began running buildings out here, I remember the first time I saw a patient pass, that was very, very hard. There was nothing else that we could do, and it was just more of a time thing that was hard. I will never forget the first phone call I had to make. I remember being in my office. I remember the patient, a different time, a patient was passing away, and the family was on their way. They had been splitting shifts. The family was very involved and very active in their care. They were very, very tight-knit family. And the daughter, who was more, she was the power of attorney. She was the head basically of the family in regards to the care of her mother. She was on her way, and unfortunately her mother did not make it until the daughter got there. So the daughter did not get to say goodbye to her mother. I remember having to make the phone call, and I remember feeling like, I'm not sure that I can do this. I went down to my office and I sat there for a good 10 minutes, because you really don't understand. It's an easy sentence, right? I mean, I'm sorry, I regret to inform you that your family has passed away. You realize what needs to be said, but saying it's so painful. I felt like I couldn't do it, almost like I was very stuck sitting there. So I had to really take time and drudge up almost like a strength. These situations don't get easy. I mean, they are hard. They are very, very hard. You know, being a nurse has changed so many things about the way that I process things, so many things about how I approach situations and people, and my ability to forgive and let go of small things. You know, you really never know. You really never know. Life has a way of just spinning and changing, and things can be here today and gone tomorrow. And being a nurse has taught me that if you're not realistic, life is gonna get you. And if there's one thing being a geriatric nurse that my patients always say to me, don't get old. Be happy. Don't work too much. Make sure the people that you care know that you care. Be kind. There's a lot of regrets that a lot of my patients, before they pass, they start vocalizing and talking about. And that hits home too, because I think in our day and age, we all tend to be very unfocused on real realities, you know, what's truly important. We're so wrapped up, I think, a lot of times in nothingness that we miss big picture. And I don't want to be like that. I don't want people that I truly care about to not know that I care. I don't want that type of regret. Another thing that was really hard for me as being a nurse is, as some of you know, I took care of my father. A few years back, I started noticing kind of a forgetfulness in him as he was aging, and I knew right away that something was up. I took my father to get an assessment, and it turned out that he had been exhibiting some mild cognitive impairment, and it was almost like my world kind of crashed. Being a nurse, you think that you know, you're equipped and you go through so many years of training and you're put in situations where you have to often think very fast. But when it's your family, it's something that there's no training for this. There was no, I was not prepared. In short, I ended up caring for my father. And I remember some days laying on the floor with my father here and just crying because I was running out of time. And I remember thinking I've got to like try to slow this down, or I've got to figure this out. But I couldn't. Time was not on my side, and that was the reality of my life. And all I could think about is I wished I had spent more time. I wished I had told him I loved him many more times. I wished, and I realized it was sliding through my fingers, and I wasn't gonna get it back. I remember one day he was standing in the dining area, and he was just standing there. And I remember saying, "Hey Dad, we have to get ready. We're getting ready to go get some food. We have to get ready." And then I walked away, and then when I came back, I didn't hear water running. I didn't hear anything. And I remember thinking to myself, what's going on in there? He was, usually you can hear shuffling around, and I didn't hear that. And I came back out, and he was still standing in the same spot. And I said, "Dad, are you okay?" And he said, "I don't remember what I was supposed to be doing." And it's like somebody took a bus and like slammed me. It was like, it was moving quicker than I could, handle. And I knew in no time that I was gonna have to do everything. And I was scared. I was really scared. I was afraid that he wouldn't know me. I was afraid that I wasn't gonna be able to do a good job. I was so afraid. I was mostly afraid of losing my best friend. And he did end up passing. And every day I just wish and I hope that I did the best. I hope he knows it. I hope that I just hope that I did to his liking. I really did try my best. So in short, being a nurse, the hardest thing was probably caring for my father, because there was a very emotional aspect to caring for a family member. Time, you just really never know, so you really just have to be so grateful for what you have when you have it. And but it really has opened me up on so many levels to like forgiveness, and to just really loving people on a level that I'm not sure that if you're not in this field and have gone through this level of training that you could. I mean, I truly do just love people. I want people to live their best lives. I want people to be all that they can be, see their own strengths, really have connections, really learn to love and forgive, and I hope that shows. I hope it flows out. I hope that people get that from me. And again, I really appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for your time. If you are interested in following my Instagram for more fitness, behind the scenes footage, and workout stuff, please add @littlefit, PHIT_nurse. Snapchat is fit, PHIT_nurse25. Go ahead and drop a comment below, tag somebody in this video, and like this video. Thank you guys so much for your time. Happy Nurses Week. Thank you again to all the nurses and medical professionals. I know the job is hard. You are so appreciated. Have a fantastic day.